Boom, got our first oil change. And we got a full tank of gas, kinda. It's a good way to start Friday. So if you guys want to know, or if you're curious, if you have a Ram, I got the oil changed at the dealership. I actually have 4 free oil changes based on the Ram protection program or whatever the crap they sold me is that I didn't pay for, but whatever. It's only like $48 to get the oil changed on these. So it's pretty good comparing to coming from a diesel where it's like $80 to $100. So pretty inexpensive oil change. Anyways, we got to get a bang before we get into this video, and then I got some exciting Ram news for you guys. And I think this is gonna make me want to trade this Ram in for this one. You'll see what I'm talking about here soon. Just a little side rant here. It's funny how different everyone is, okay? So here's the thing. Over here, well, at any of these gas stations, you've got 2 for $5 bangs or 2 for like $4.78, something like that. Very close in price. The convenience factor is that these gas stations are literally everywhere. They're a dime a dozen here in Amarillo. There's probably 10 to 15 gas stations easily around you all the time that carry bangs, and they're a lot more expensive. Or you can go to the one drug emporium that's kind of like centrally located, I'd say, off 45th and Western, where the bangs are only $1.59. Literally the cheapest bangs you can buy anywhere, not even Amarillo. Like, people DM me all the time saying how much their bangs cost, and because I always post the picture of how cheap they are over here, they're $1.59. So it's funny that knowingly, we all know that bangs are the cheapest at the drug emporium over here, but we still go to the gas stations because it's more convenient. Especially, and I'm victim of this too all the time, especially the one over here because it's drive-through. Isn't that funny? So are you guys, I want to know, comment down below, are you guys more paying for the convenience, or are you the type of person that goes maybe a little bit further into town to get the cheapest price? See, for me, I'm usually going that way because it's on the way to the gym. However, I'm also short on time. And Drug Emporium has the world's slowest workers. If you guys have never been in a Drug Emporium, oh my gosh. The people that work there are the slowest people. It's terrible. They're the people that sit in the left lane on the highway and go 10 miles under the speed limit. 10 miles an hour under the speed limit. Drives me nuts. Anyways, side rant over. Must get bang. See you then. So this is pretty cool. They've got the large unicorn and they've got the little shooter. Now these are actually more expensive. Same thing. I'm paying for the convenience, but they're pretty cool. The only thing, Kevin and I talk about it all the time, is we like to drink the bangs and sip on them. You know, sometimes people like to make us chug them, but I guess if you're in a time crunch and you want a shit ton of caffeine, 300 milligrams to be exact, you get a little shooter right here. So we'll save that for later. But for now, we'll drink this guy. Literally feel like a whole different person, like I should start this video over because I have a bang now. Anyways, let's get into what the title is about. So, some spy shots have finally released on the Hellcat Ram 1500, the Rebel TRX, which is so awesome. Now here's a couple things about it. They've already been talking about this for a while. These are just the first pictures to really surface of being able to see the truck in entirety. Like, you can see the fenders and the wheels and the tires and all that stuff. You can see it. Whether that's going to be the exact spec or not, that's to be determined. But the thing about when they do a Hellcat in another vehicle, it takes a long time. So I'm really surprised that it's already being shown this early on, because you got to think these trucks just came out. The Ram 1500s, the 2019s, they just came out not too long ago, and they're already talking about the Hellcat version. Whereas the Jeep Grand Cherokee Trackhawk, that took a lot of time, because I remember Kevin had a white 2016 Grand Cherokee SRT, and they held on to that, and then he ended up trading that in for a Hellcat, his orange one, the Charger, because the Trackhawk didn't come out when it was supposed to. I think they were talking about it for like 2 or 3 years before the Trackhawk finally came out. And here's the thing with the Trackhawk. Now, I know a couple people on here have them, But here's the thing with the Trackhawk. They are not selling nearly like they were supposed to. And I'll give you the #1 reason why. Price. The price on the Trackhawks is insane. Now, luckily, some dealers are trying to get rid of them. You can find them for, I saw one for as low as $78,000, but you can find them somewhere in the mid-80s instead of paying the full like $99,000 to $100,000 what they came out. That was obviously the sticker, and when they first came out, they weren't really budging on the price because I think they thought people were really gonna pay that for a Jeep. But at the end of the day, you gotta remember, it's still just a Jeep Grand Cherokee. Obviously, it's got a shit ton of cool amenities, but it's still just a Jeep Grand Cherokee, and the price does not match the name. Now, the $75,000 to $80,000, I think that's a fair price for that because it is an SUV with literally every amenity you can have, plus it's got class-leading horsepower, and it can tow. We didn't tow with it, but you can tow with it. So that's the thing with that, and I really hope with the Ram, they don't ruin it by going too crazy on the price. And here's a good example, is the Raptor. I think they even could have priced those for even more, and people may have bought them. But here's the thing, Ford F-150s are already more expensive off the lot, so they kind of knew where they could go with the price based on their customer base. And I honestly, when the Raptors first came out, the second gen, not the first gen, the second gen, I was in love with them. I thought they were the baddest truck on the planet, which they are. The new Raptors are so sick. I know a lot of people don't like the EcoBoost, but that's kind of the way the world's going. Plus, it actually makes more torque than their V8 does, and it's good for towing. Anyways, I thought the truck was awesome, but the price, for me, I was like, man, it's a little high, but it's within reach. It's one of those price ranges where you're like, man, that's a little high for a truck, but look what I get. When you get to like the 90 and the 100,000 price, that is a whole nother level. When you throw that extra digit on there, it changes the game a lot, and I think that's where they ruined it with the Trackhawk. So hopefully with the Ram, they don't get too crazy on the price range. I think for, you know, the Rams are already one of the cheaper trucks out as far as price is concerned, so I think they're gonna hit it right on with the price, but we'll see, because it does have the Hellcat motor in it. Anyways, looking at the spy shots, which you'll see in the thumbnail, and I'll drop a couple here and there, the truck looks pretty much like a Laramie with a sport appearance package, and then it's got these different off-road type fender flares. If you zoom in on one of the rear images, it kind of looks like the frame is beefed up, which would make sense because when you're off-roading, you need a stiffer frame, obviously, to take all that abuse. The wheels and tires, they kind of look like some Method race wheels, which I'm pretty sure that's what they are. Wheels and tires look really good, but everything painted to match obviously always looks good on those. Whereas the Ram Rebels that are out right now, they're not painted to match. Everything has a black accent. It's like a flat black. It's not a gloss black accent, which actually looks good. It gives it a good off-road feel to it. But this truck, with the all painted to match, looks freaking sick, and it's black, which obviously I'm a little biased because my truck is black. Anyways, the truck looks good. You couldn't really see the suspension, but I did see some other photos. Obviously, it's gonna have like some double bypass coilover, crazy ass Fox suspension on there, I'm sure, just like the Raptor does, because that's the biggest difference. Now, here's the thing with these trucks is the towing capabilities are not that great, and the #1 reason for that is because of the suspension, because you need hard, firm springs in order to take the weight from the back from a trailer or whatever you have in there, the payload. And the thing with off-road suspension is you need the opposite. You need some soft, you need some rebound, and that's why they do like these Fox shocks with the coilovers and the bypass and all this crap. But what it does is it kind of ruins the towing of the vehicle. So I know the manufacturers, they kind of have a hard time finding that like in between on which shocks to run and where to valve them at. I believe, I may be wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe on the new Raptor, you can adjust them yourself, which is cool because then you can make them softer for off-roading, or if you're gonna go tow, you can make them a little firmer. I think you can do that. I can't remember exactly, but I have seen a couple Raptors with that, and maybe that's like an extra or something. But if they have that on the Ram, that would be awesome. Now, Rams never really had a cool off-road truck. They've always kind of stuck away from that. I mean, Chevy came out with the Colorado, but like the Colorado ZR2, but I don't really see that as a competitor with a freaking Raptor. I mean, really, the Raptor, since the Gen 1, has held down the off-road truck game. I mean, it's just like on another level. It looks mean from the front. It's always had plenty of power. It's always had the cool amenities in the inside with all the switches and the lights. And it's always had the baddest suspension. I mean, literally, you know, 75% of Raptor owners don't even use their Raptors for what they're for. But the fact is that you could literally just jump off-road and start jumping the thing and it would be totally fine. The Raptors have really cornered the game when it comes to off-road trucks. So it's cool to see someone try and push the envelope, such as the Ram Rebel. I mean, because the Ram Rebel, let's get it right, the Ram Rebel right now that's out is cool. It looks cool, it's got a cool factor to it, but it is nowhere near what a Raptor is. It's just, the two are, I just think the Raptor is so far above it. So I think with adding the Hellcat motor, and maybe they'll add a couple different suspension options, I'd like to see them throw like a true wide body fender flare on there, because if you look at the Raptor compared to a normal F-150, the actual fender flares are huge, and then they have a fender, the actual fenders are huge, and then they have a fender flare on top of that, which makes it look huge in the front. It looks like a damn pit bull walking around, you know, when they got short stubby legs and they're just like mobbing through. That is literally what a Raptor looks like from the front. Now these spy shots of the Hellcat truck, they just have like an added fender flare. They don't have actual larger fender flares to make it look like a true off-road pre-runner style truck, which is what the Raptor has really, which kind of like what they, I don't know, they wanted to make it look like a pre-runner truck that you could drive around, which that's why I think the Raptor is so cool. And I'm sorry, but the Raptor is badass. There's no doubt about it. But yeah, the Raptors, I think fully spec'd out, were like 80, low 80s. I mean, you can get them, I think they start at 65,000 and they kind of go up from there depending on like extended cab versus regular cab and leather versus cloth and all that stuff. But I think the range is like 65 to 80. And I think that's fair for a truck like that that is well equipped. So hopefully with the Ram, I bet it's going to have better towing than the Raptor, I would assume, especially with that motor and trans. So as long as they do the right suspension on it, I think it'll be able to tow. It's definitely not going to tow what a regular Ram can, because the suspension will be different. However, I think it's going to be able to tow more than a Raptor. Obviously, it's going to have way more power than a Raptor, so I think it's going to kill it in that aspect. I'm hoping they just don't overprice them. It's like the Jeep Gladiator that's coming out right now. I'm hoping they don't overprice those. But the way that things go, you just have inflation. Like everything, the price just goes up on everything. I did see, a little side note here, I did see the new Ram 2500 to 3500. The prices on those aren't as bad as I thought they were going to be, honestly. There's still some F350s and 450s that way outprice the brand new Ram diesels that are coming out that have like the same styling as the new 1500s. The prices actually are not that bad. So if you guys are wondering, you should definitely go check those out, because they got the 12-inch screen, they've got the new LED headlights, they've got crazy amenities. Anyways, let me know your guys' thoughts below. There's not too much information out right now. However, those spy shots did come out and the truck looks badass. Let me know what you guys think. Would you buy the new Ram Rebel Hellcat TRX, or would you buy a Raptor? I think I would go for the Ram Rebel with the Hellcat. The only thing is, I would want to mod the shit out of it, because how cool would that be, pulling up on people with it like an upper and a lower pulley on E85 and just gapping people in a big ass truck. I mean, that would be insane. So let me know your guys' thoughts below. I just want to talk about that because I saw it come out this morning. I thought it was super badass and the truck looks cool as shit. I would definitely trade my truck in for that when it comes out, as long as the price isn't too crazy. If it's in like the 60 to 70 range, I think it's worth it. Any more than that, not so. I'll probably get a Raptor in that case. So let me know your guys' thoughts below. Make sure you always comment, like, subscribe, follow me on Instagram and Snapchat at VanV39, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Enjoy your banks, enjoy your weekends. Little side note here for the people in Amarillo, it's supposed to hail today, so protect your vehicles.